All right, YouTube, welcome back. So we got a rust bucket Subaru that poor Sierra last night. So I don't think Sierra's ever experienced working on a Subaru with so much rust. And for me and Caleb and Jude, we're used to it. We see a lot of cars from out of state at the auction that used car dealers pick up. Some dabble in them, some don't.
It's still a pain in the ass for us, but
oh yeah,
we can deal with it.
Yeah. So Eric O from South Main Auto, he knows about rust and corrosion, and you know he probably sees it more than us. But we see those cars here because a lot of dealers don't want to deal with them. They go right to auction, and they're usually cheaper cars to purchase. Although they run great and inside they look good, just outside shows you got rust issues, and it could be worse. Saying to Caleb about this car, besides it needs brakes and rotors all the way around, the backing plates are completely rusted off, the rotors are shot, the backing plates are falling apart. It has an upper control arm creak that I cannot get rid of. I even tried greasing the boot inside there to get rid of that creak. So now we're gonna, bust our butts to get the control arm out. So we got it, and actually new bolts. But Sierra, this was her first attempt at dealing with a Subaru. So on Subarus that we see with heavy rust, what happens is the corrosion builds up between the eyelet on the bracket or the bridge and squeezes that bolt in there, and then not only the corrosion in here, and then these are originally 17 millimeters, so you can see the trouble that she really had. And she was cursing and swearing at this car, and it's a good experience for her because now once she learns how to deal with stuff like this, zoom, she will never be afraid of dealing with anything that she comes across. And Sierra's how old? 18? 19?
19.
19. So sometimes dealing with the most difficult jobs in your earlier years just makes you a better technician in your later years. So now she had experience with this, so when she sees this, and then I also gave her my tricks too on how to soften the experience, although I let her go for about an hour of struggling before I actually helped her, because you got to try. So I could reshape these to 16 millimeter, but I didn't want to dick around with them. So we did find new bolts. Caleb's just chasing the threads because they're so bad, but she was cursing and swearing how much of a piece of effing crap this car is, and I can't believe they're fixing it and blah, 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 blah. And then after I helped her get them all out, yeah, and every one of them was a battle. Every one of them was a battle. Not only that, she didn't even get to the part of trying to get the pads in the brackets because the used car dealership will definitely not buy new calipers unless they're blown out or seized. And the sliders actually did work. But what I wanted to tell Caleb was that this car has a hard left pull with no loose suspension components, a creaking left rear upper control arm. And I said, after we get this car back together and set the toe, if it still has a hard pull to the left, it's either in the rack and pinion or it's in the tire. And I was explaining to him about radial tire pulls. I don't mean to get too in depth about it, but this car has so many problems on top of trying to correct a left pull, and it's not it's a left pull to, like you would think that someone yanked the steering wheel out of your hand as you're driving down the road and you're just like to the left. To me, it feels like a bad rack and pinion, and I'm pretty confident it is, but we're going to cover our bases first. And I said, if you come across a car that all the alignment angles are right, there's no binding steering components, you ruled out EPS issues and power steering issues, and all the tires are in good or decent condition, that I want you to swap the left front tire to the right front, and if the car goes straight, then it's a radial tire pull, and that's a defect in the tire. Even though the tire looks good, there is such a thing called that. Thanks for watching.